So I was driving on the freeway the other day, and this big tearing, ripping sound underneath the Jeep suddenly came up, almost as if a metal buckle came loose and was, kind of whipping around down there. I pulled over immediately, took a look, and I found a crack on the boot of my drive shaft all the way around. Now, whether or not some road debris had come up and smacked it and broken it, or maybe a piece of it had come off, I don't think there was a metal buckle in the middle of it. There wouldn't be one there, so that couldn't have been something there. But something definitely broke that. It made me want to get underneath the Jeep and take a look and see what other damage may be on there. And after doing the lift that we did, are the drive shafts at the point where maybe they need to be replaced or getting close to being replaced? So instead of just doing a boot, let's take a look and see if the whole drive shaft needs to be replaced.
So I thought I'd do a little looking under here. You can see my drive shaft has got some wear on it. It's been hitting here on this cross member. I worried that maybe it was hitting in here as well on the exhaust, and it looks like maybe it is a little bit, but not very often. The boot is broken, so you can see the drive shaft through there. I could see a little bit of rust or whatever, but I think that may be normal. It's protected a bit, but not as much as it could be. The other thing I notice is that this joint in here looks like it is wearing out fast. It is pretty beat up. If you look at the back, in fact, not only that, but if you look down here, there's a lot of gunk. All the oil and stuff that's coming out of this is all dropping on this, so I really wonder how much oil's even in it anymore. If you look at the back, how this looks, this actually looks pretty good. Not a lot of wear on this. And then the other side as well. So the front drive shaft hasn't felt like it needs to be replaced, but it will probably fail soon.
So the rear drive shaft looks okay. I don't think I need to replace that one right away. It actually, in some of the videos I've watched online, I kind of got the impression that with a 3.5-inch lift that would be at a steeper angle, that it probably would be worn out. But it seems to look good. The front drive shaft, it's rubbing in some places. I think I need to get a new one. I'll take a look. I almost want to wait a couple weeks and just kind of see if it gets worse. Or if it stays the same. It could be that it just maintains fine. I don't feel anything different when I drive. It doesn't feel odd to me. I don't feel hear any clicking or feel any resistance or things like that. But let's watch it closely, and it may be that we'll be getting that new Tom Woods drive shaft sooner than we anticipated. So I figured out the problem. There's an extra cross member right here. This little dealie right here. I don't know if all Jeeps have it or if it's just something from a late model. It's in front of the main primary cross member, another one that bolted across here. Not only was my exhaust hitting on it, but that's what was rubbing on my driveline. Without that on there, my driveline could actually droop a lot lower. So this is, I believe what was happening is, the driveline, as it dropped down, was hitting that cross member, which caused the leverage on the drive. So that weight of the axle as it dropped down hit this cross member, and it almost caused like a fulcrum where it would pop up. So it's actually causing that CV joint at the end to be ruined sooner because it's pushing up on it. With that bar out of the way and that little smaller cross member out of the way, the driveline should be able to flex fully without this getting in the way at all. So even though my driveline's not all the way bad, it's definitely going bad, and that CV boot is having, that CV joint is having a little problem. It's not all the way bad, which means it should last a little longer without that extra force on it. So we're gonna remove this, get it out of the way,
The one thing I am worried about is if you look down here, my exhaust is actually semi-exposed. I assume that other vehicles have the same problem, but if I were to come along and hit a rock, that is not gonna take a hit very well. So I'll definitely need some kind of protection there as I go off-roading. But this cross member, which was previously providing a little bit of protection there, is no longer rubbing on this and hurting this, and certainly no longer rubbing on the driveline. So overall, nice to have a fix, nice to figure out what the issue is, and you know, I think we'll probably still have to replace that driveline here shortly. But at least for now, we know that as we go off-road, it's not going to injure the vehicle any further, and it's not going to cause further damage.